are shrouded in mystery, and they want to hide their secret.
To address a theory that many people out there have been speculating on, that Meghan Markle has lied about her age. Is she actually older?
I'm not happy with what one of my daughters is doing. And I don't know what caused her to do this. We've had this conversation before. She's telling lies.
And not a surprise here because, yeah, she lies a lot about her stuff. We've caught her in so many lies. Her own sister has come forward, her family.
For years, the world believed it knew Meghan Markle inside and out. The dazzling Hollywood actress who became a royal rebel, the woman who stepped into Buckingham Palace with that radiant, camera-ready smile. But behind the sparkle, behind the carefully crafted interviews and flawless photos, something far more mysterious lingered in the shadows. A question that refused to fade: who is the real Meghan Markle? As her fame exploded, quiet whispers began spreading through online corners, unsettling murmurs that maybe the story she shared with the world wasn't entirely hers. Could it be possible that the narrative everyone adored had been rewritten somewhere along the way? At first, the idea sounded absurd. After all, how could someone as famous, as connected, as scrutinized as Meghan conceal something as simple as her true age? But that's exactly what veteran journalist Tom Bower, a man famous for tearing away the masks of the powerful, decided to investigate. And when he did, what he uncovered shook even the skeptics. Tom Bower isn't just another tabloid reporter. His reputation was built on exposing secrets that others dared not touch. So when he turned his investigative eye toward Meghan Markle, what emerged wasn't mere rumor, it was evidence. Documents, conflicting timelines, school records that didn't align, each piece pointing to one startling conclusion. Had Meghan Markle's life story not just been edited, but completely rewritten?
There's a rumor she's actually older, so let's examine what's out there. This is a copy of 17 magazine. It was published in March of 1997. In it, it mentions our Megzy is from Los Angeles and that she was 21 years old.
Don't you miss that feeling? Getting lost in a story that feels like it was written just for you. If your heart needs a little magic, click on the link in I button or in the description or pinned comment. It's waiting at infowebster.com. Go feel something again.
Imagine discovering that one of the most famous women in the world, the woman whose every move was watched, photographed, and analyzed, might not be who we all thought she was. That's exactly what sent the internet spiraling when journalist Tom Bower claimed to uncover something that could change everything about Meghan Markle's story. What if her entire timeline from her early life to her Hollywood career wasn't what it seemed? What if even her age wasn't the age the world believed? According to every official record, Meghan Markle was born in August 1981. That date has been printed in royal biographies, repeated by every major media outlet, and featured on every glossy PR sheet that ever mentioned her. But when Tom Bower began to dig deeper into her background, her school history, early acting credits, and graduation years, strange inconsistencies began to appear. Things that didn't quite add up. It was like pulling a loose thread on a sweater and watching the whole thing start to unravel. The real turning point came from something so small, it almost went unnoticed. An old issue of 17 magazine from 1997. Inside, Meghan Markle was listed as 21 years old. But if she were truly born in 1981, that would make her only 16 at the time. So, how could that be? If the magazine was correct, it meant Meghan had actually been born around 1976, a full 6 years earlier than the official record. 6 missing years. Gone. Deleted. As if someone had gone back and erased a part of her life story. When Tom Bower brought this discovery forward, the world didn't know what to think. Critics called it a stretch, tabloids called it nonsense, and fans dismissed it as another attack on Meghan. But then came a quiet, emotional moment that changed everything. Her father, Thomas Markle, broke his silence. Thomas didn't come out swinging. He didn't accuse anyone. Instead, he spoke softly, with the sadness of a man who'd carried too much disappointment for too long. In one interview, his voice trembling, he said he had noticed for years that certain details in his daughter's life story never lined up. The birthdays, the timelines, the milestones a father remembers by heart, they didn't match the woman the world saw on TV. "I'm not happy with what one of my daughters is doing," he said, not with anger, but with grief. "It's sad every day. It's a huge disappointment." Those words hit like a thunderclap. Because this wasn't a gossip headline or a rival's accusation. It was a father's heartbreak. A man realizing the daughter he raised might have rewritten her own life story. Bauer suggested that this rewrite wasn't random at all. It was calculated, a strategic reinvention meant to fit a certain image. Maybe it was to appear younger for Hollywood roles. Maybe it helped her seem more relatable when stepping into the royal spotlight. Maybe it was simply about perfection, the desire to control how the world saw her. Whatever the reason, the result was the same, a polished, flawless version of Meghan Markle that may never have truly existed. Meanwhile, Thomas Markle just watched from a distance. His silence became heavier with time, and every public appearance seemed to show the toll it took. His eyes no longer carried anger, only sadness. For him, it wasn't about royal gossip or fame. It was about honesty, about recognizing a daughter who seemed to have vanished behind a brand. And as the story grew louder, so did the questions. If her birth year didn't add up, what else might have been changed? What other pieces of her history were reshaped to fit the perfect narrative? Bauer left that question hanging like storm clouds gathering on the horizon. Then the storm broke. The internet exploded. YouTube deep dives appeared overnight. TikTok detectives stitched together old clips and interviews, analyzing every word, every timeline. Royal forums turned into digital courtrooms. Meghan Markle, once seen as the face of modern royalty, was now being dissected like a mystery unsolved. And, through it all, Tom Bauer stood by his findings, repeating one haunting phrase, "You can't beat the truth." That line echoed everywhere, even within palace walls. Because if what he uncovered had any truth to it, it meant the royal institution itself had accepted a version of Meghan's story without ever verifying it. Even royal reporters, usually careful to stay neutral, began whispering, how did no one notice a 6-year gap? Why were her early records so inconsistent? Back in California, Thomas Markle sat quietly, watching it all unfold. "I only ever wanted honesty," he said softly. That simple sentence, spoken by a heartbroken father, carried more weight than any statement Meghan ever gave. Through all this chaos, Meghan remained silent. No statements, no interviews, no clarifications. Just silence, and that silence spoke volumes. The longer she stayed quiet, the more the public's curiosity turned into suspicion. Her fans defended her, fiercely, calling the rumors cruel and invasive. But critics had one question she couldn't seem to answer. If it isn't true, why not just prove it wrong? Then came the fallout. The once flawless Meghan Markle brand began to show cracks. The woman who had inspired millions, who was once a global icon of empowerment and grace, suddenly seemed untouchable, but for the wrong reasons. Major brands started to step back quietly. Projects stalled. Partnerships faded. The image that once sparkled with perfection now carried the faint shadow of doubt. Because in today's world, authenticity isn't optional, it's survival. And nothing destroys faster than the scent of dishonesty. The question that had once made her famous, who is Meghan Markle, had returned, but now it carried an entirely different meaning. Bauer didn't stop there. He pushed deeper, following every lead he could find. He searched through school records, old casting documents, archived interviews, and again, the puzzle pieces didn't fit. Graduation years vanished. Photos were dated incorrectly. In early interviews, she'd casually brushed off questions about her age with a laugh, changing the topic before anyone could press further. It had seemed charming at the time, just another actress protecting her privacy. But now, it felt deliberate. Even former colleagues began speaking up. Some recalled how she'd joke about being timeless. Others claimed she'd leave the age sections on forms blank or skip over them entirely. When Prince Harry entered her life, everything suddenly became fixed: the story, the timeline, the details. Too neat. Too perfect. Bauer called that moment the locking of her narrative, the point where the story stopped evolving and became set in stone. Someone built this version of her, he said, and the world bought it. And indeed, the world had bought it until now. Because as these revelations spread, the public began asking for receipts. And every time a missing year was found, another question emerged. Was this just a misunderstanding or a masterpiece of manipulation? And through it all, Harry stayed silent too. The man who had vowed to protect his wife from lies now faced whispers that her truth might not have been real at all. Fans revisited her stories, including the ones in Spare, and began connecting dots that no one wanted to see. The miracle birth moments, the flawless timelines, everything was now under the microscope. Doctors, journalists, and online analysts all asked the same thing. Was any of this real? By then, Meghan's life had turned into a digital investigation. Reddit threads titled "The Lost 6 Years" blew up. TikTok creators posted side-by-side footage of interviews and documents. YouTube channels turned her past into forensic case files. It wasn't gossip anymore, it was research. And in the center of that storm stood one heartbroken man. Thomas Markle, quiet as ever, said only one thing: you can't edit who you are. He didn't say it with anger, he said it with sorrow. Because no matter what the world said, he still remembered the little girl he once knew. Tom Bower called his final findings the royal illusion, a fairy tale so perfectly written that people forgot to ask if it was true. This isn't about her age anymore, he said. It's about credibility. That one line became the headline that followed her everywhere. The irony, of course, was devastating. Meghan had once declared that she wanted to control her own narrative. And for years, she did. Until the truth, hidden in old records and forgotten photos, caught up. The story ends with one haunting image: Thomas Markle, his voice trembling, looking straight into the camera. The truth doesn't need a PR team, he said. It just needs time. And maybe that's the most powerful message of all, because time remembers everything. You can edit a story, polish a photo, even change a birth date. But you can't edit time. And time, no matter how long it takes, always tells the truth.